sight. 9 o'clock, it's shining bright. Turn the dial and feel the might. Just enough Heshy take flight. Woo! Laughs and wisdom side by side. Heshy show won't be denied. Tune in live and ride the tide. Feel the rush and feel the pride. It's just enough Heshy. Wanna vote for Heshy? It's just enough Heshy. Join the crowd, it's messy.
Just Enough Heshy Show. Welcome my Instagram and YouTube and Facebook fans and soon our live radio fans.
Yes, in about 4 or 5
And,
minutes.
I was at a wedding the other day and they're taking pictures of me and somebody says, oh, you're more famous. I said, I'm not famous, and then people, are you running? They're all excited to see if I'm running again. They want to see the show again.
Yes.
They all want to know my thing. Leave me alone, guys. Yes, no, you don't vote for me. You just want the show.
I don't know.
But
I don't know anymore. Crazy
we're
times.
going to talk about a lot of things.
Yes.
I want to talk about that you should all pray for my sister. I'm going to tell you what happened in the hospital
Let's hear about
after
that.
I left you last week, where something happened to my sister. And then again, Thursday night, my niece had a baby at home.
Yes, I saw that. Something like
At
that.
home. There's a bris tomorrow. If you want to come,
What?
you get a free breakfast.
What time is the breast?
It's 9 o'clock.
Okay, we'll have to think about
I know
this.
you're not going to make it with the snow and the cold, but
No,
it's
well,
only a
it's
breakfast.
supposed to be warmer. Well, we'll talk
Oh,
about it
it is
off.
going through. Instead of minus 6 degrees.
Supposed to be
5
50 tomorrow.
No way.
It's supposed to be
Oh,
50, but
thank
the
God.
weekend's where it's going to go all downhill.
I know.
afterwards.
All my people are calling me, you're going to shovel. And I then spoke to sanitation, and everybody liked that. I want to talk about Minnesota. I know you
too.
don't want to hear about that.
I got it's on my notes.
And Bernie Sanders, that wacko
The
idiot,
burn.
where's he from anyways? Vermont?
Well, he was originally from Brooklyn.
But you're a senator there. Go deal with your own state issues. You're not dealing with that. People
No.
are struggling there, and you're
No.
coming here to deal with our problems.
No.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know anymore.
I don't know. These
Crazy
people are
times.
crazy. And then I want to talk about Trump's third term. There's betting going on. Will he impeach? Will he quit? Wow. We have so many issues there to discuss. But I also have, a lot of people have said that Heshy looks so tired. I get up 4:30 in the morning. I'm in the hospital. Now I'm taking care of my sister. I have brisses and nephews and nieces. By the way, my 151st
Yes, I saw that. Wow.
nephew was born. Yeah, I was
I got two.
recounting.
I got like 2. I got 2, and it's like
From
a nightmare.
both sides?
Well, just my brother. He has two kids. That's
no,
it.
but I'm saying, right. Just your brother. You only have one.
I have another brother, but he's actually speaking of very sick, he's actually very sick in another country right now. He has bloody diarrhea, and he's in a hospital for days, unfortunately.
I'm
yeah.
sorry.
There's somebody else I actually have to talk to you about afterwards, but,
Okay, you know, I take the calls in the middle of the week.
Well, they're in
where to
another
go.
country. I don't think they have phone service.
No, I know. I can't solve
No,
every
this is
country's
like
problem.
Uzbekistan or something like that.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's far away.
Yeah.
I just want you to know, I hope, this week's joke, I was at a wedding,
Okay.
and somebody comes with me, Heshy, your jokes are bad.
This wasn't the producer?
Was the producer. And he says, Heshy, I have a joke for you. And I think I heard this joke once before. But he says, you got to tell it on the air. And I says, but it's a stupid joke. He says, you tell it on the air, I donate to your next campaign. So I'm going to tell the joke.
All right.
I think it's pretty funny anyway.
Oh, well,
I think it's
we're
a
going to
funny
find
joke.
out because you're
I
going to
hope
tell
I
everybody we're going to do it.
Yeah, I am going to do it.
We're going to do it. Yeah. I'm excited
we
for
should
it.
be going live on the
We're
air.
going to be
Carol,
going
listeners.
live very shortly on the radio. I want to certainly start that
By the way, Zev Brenner,
Yes.
the leader of Talkline, is in Panama.
Wow.
Yeah.
And he's not listening to Van
And
Halen Panama?
they say there's a lot of Jews in Panama, kosher all over. Don't go to Miami.
David Lee
for
Roth
vacation.
was Jewish. He wrote Panama. Van Halen.
I got you. I know, but I'm
Diamond
in Miami.
Dave.
I'd rather stay in the United States.
I think you have a little more charisma than David Lee Roth. I think a little bit. Not as much hair, obviously, but
I know. I'm going to have to do something about the
But I do want to say hello to people coming on here from the Talkline Radio Network. First of all, leading off our flagship WSNR 620 AM, the legendary Once Upon a Time Rock and Roll Radio radio station, WNEW 102.7
Welcome
FM
to the show.
and WJPR 1640 AM, where I think everybody wishes they would be, coming up here in a few days in Miami, Florida. Welcome to this week's edition of the Just Enough Heshy Show with Tom and, of course, the man, the myth, the legend, Heshy Tischler.
You welcome WSNR, the main station?
Yes, the flagship. I went right off the bat with that.
Well, welcome all the listeners. Welcome again to our Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube fans.
And give us a call tonight, 646-974-1580. Oh, you're telling people not to call in?
We have a lot to talk about, and
they might want to talk.
We have a great show. I have a great joke, and I'm going to start with the call, but I want to tell you all. I want to tell you something quick.
Talk to me.
Friday, I was trying to do my, my community service, drop off the food to people, and then I get a call around 11:30. My sister, young Esther,
yes,
she has Down syndrome, but she's very well, high functioning. She goes herself. She went to.
We've seen her in some of the campaign paraphernalia.
She went to the school and she fell down and broke her femur.
Oh my God.
I took her to urgent care and I couldn't move her anymore, so I got an ambulance to take her to the hospital. And before the Sabbath, which starts at 5 o'clock, so I followed them with my car, so maybe if everything works out well, I can get home or whatever it is, have my stuff. And I get to the emergency room exit like 2 minutes after the ambulance. And I see them taking her in, and the security guard stops me. And he says, "You can't come in." I said, "What are you talking about? I'm here with the ambulance. I'm allowed to come in. I'm a family member. She has Down syndrome. I'm the next of kin." "No, you can't come in." "I'm sorry." I said, "Who do you think you're talking to?" I said, "First of all, I volunteer here. Everybody knows me." And he starts giving me a hard time. And then I'm standing over there, and he calls the police. And I laugh. I said, "First of all, I just hope you arrest me tonight because this place will burn down." I said, "Second of all, the police all know me." Yeah. Right away, I hear they call the head of security. He comes running into the, he comes into the emergency room and he sees me. He was in my office 2 days before with my son. We were helping him with his daughter's apartment.
Oh, wow, okay.
He says, "Oh, Heshy Tischler, of course you come in. This is Heshy Tischler." And he tells everybody, "Shut up," and he takes me in. 10 minutes later, the vice president of the hospital comes out. Now, there's 60 people in the emergency room, 3 deep in every room, in every one of those waiting booths. And he gets us a private place. I get my x-ray in 10 minutes. And, because I was well connected, which is not right, but still, I was very in trouble right before Shabbos. I got this CAT scan, I got everything, and they took well care for me in my Manis, but I'm still scared of them.
Yeah.
I got a room at 7 o'clock.
We know
it
the
took
city's
6
taking
hours.
Too, by the way.
Yeah, I know that, they're going to destroy the hospital.
Absolutely.
Anyway, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, they take us up. One of the security guards, the head guy, comes over to me. He takes my car home for me. I forgot to tell him to take my coat out. And it was so cold, I had to walk home in the bitter cold Friday night.
Yeah, I remember.
Frozen for 20 minutes.
I was out
I
there.
thought I was going to get sick. Thank God I didn't.
Good.
And I made it home, and the next day, of course, I went to the hospital. But I was sitting there till late. And then the hospital starts playing with me. The operation, her blood pressure is low, blood pressure 88/47. I said she'd be dead. I said she didn't eat, maybe this. And then I made them use another machine. Their machines are broken. Half the machines are defective. They're not calibrating their machines. Guys, when you're in the hospital, watch out. They're not calibrating. Don't listen to everything they tell you. Then they want to give her a shot. Then they want to give her a transfusion. I fight with my brothers. I said, "Listen, this is the way my mother-in-law died." And they said, "No, that was different." I said, "No." Finally, Monday comes. They give her the operation. They put screws and a plate in her. Again, they want to give her more stuff. I said, "Listen to me. I've been doing this a long time. It's a stupid foot. You're right. You can't walk on it." Anyways, I let them do a little bit of their Tylenol. My brother screams at me about it. I said, "No morphine." They did some kind of a transfusion for blood thing. I did learn about it. My doctor said, "Okay." They again took the blood pressure, no good. I brought a doctor who said the blood pressure was good with a hand thing.
All right.
Anyways, today I got them to take out all the needles and screws and everything from her.
Thank God.
And I'm getting her transferred tomorrow. But I'm there constantly. I have my brother there. You have to watch them. Listen to me. If you're not in the hospital responsible, they do whatever they want and she dies. I know you're going to laugh at me, but it's your responsibility to be there.
No one's laughing. This is
and
a
I
very
believe I saved her
matter.
life.
I'm glad you did, but it's unfortunate you had to go through all that just to.
But it's a teaching lesson that I've learned. You people have to do that. Listen to Heshy. I'm right. Plus, of course, my niece, my beautiful niece, my oldest niece, not my oldest, but my oldest from the Tischler side, came over to me and she had a baby now.
Yes.
2 years.
Number 151.
So it's my 151 nephew and niece. It was a boy. The bris is tomorrow.
Yes.
But I want to tell you, this girl has a double master's. She's going to law school.
Wow.
And she had the baby at home. Do you know if you have the baby at home, they don't give you any medicine, an epidural? And that night, she sent me a picture of the baby, and the next day I came over, she let me hold the baby, play with the baby, talk to the baby. My own daughter-in-law wouldn't even let me look at the baby for a month. Wow.
Well, that's a lot to
She's
handle.
the coolest niece that I have, and tomorrow is the bris. The bris is at 2084 60th Street.
Oh, okay. Well,
Come over, 2084.
On the corner.
Yes, on the corner. The
Yes.
synagogue that I helped make
21st
legalized.
Avenue, yes.
You're all invited.
all right.
Come for a free breakfast. It's going to be a very good breakfast because my niece is not cheap. She knows how to do it well.
So we're expecting waffles, pancakes, all that.
Eggs, I don't know. Eggs, bagels, lots, cream cheese,
All right.
sliding procedure.
We'll
Just
see.
the breakfast. It's over. 9 o'clock is the ceremony. 9:30,
All right.
it's over 10 o'clock already. And then I'm on my way to an inspection and then upstate to check up on some.
Wow.
Yeah.
I thought I was busy today.
Oh, please. And then I got to get back. But I'm going upstairs because I want to check up on the house we have upstairs because I have a bunch of special needs programs that I promised to give the house.
Hopefully
to
the snow doesn't destroy your house.
No, that I have set. I fixed that land up. I'm saying I hope the snow doesn't come before I get back.
Well, good point.
Here's my quote. To whom much is given, much is required. Now, I'm not telling you have to give back your monies and whatever, but you're required to do good. You're required to give advice. You're required to do well. You know, we all want to live a quiet life, but sadly, we just don't live in a quiet world. Everyone here can tell you that. People don't get a choice. We have to face the noises. We just have to accept who we are and stop running from it. We are given blessings. We just have to find our soul, find our reflection of who we really are. We are who we are. We just have to be the best version of ourselves. I'm never going to apologize for myself. I'm going to try to make myself better. But I know who I am. I know how much is given to me, and I try myself to give back to the community. And yes, do you want to know if I'm running? I don't know if I'm running. Me and Tom have discussed this. We have options. We have to go again to the executive committee on Monday. We're going to wait it out. We're going to see, but by April, for sure, there will be a decision. And it looks like that I might be running, but again,
Time will tell.
Time will tell.
Time will
We'll have
tell.
to see how the thing plays out.
That's all we can do.
By the way, God will not let us be tested. I just want you to know beyond our strengths. We don't get a choice. We have to face the choices. That's how it is. And I want to tell you something. There was a young girl, 13 years old, that jumped off the bridge. Why we're not, just now, the Brooklyn Bridge this week.
Oh my God.
And there was a lot of other stuff going on in the city. We're not watching our children. We have to be careful of mental health. We have to be able to fight our fears. There's no reason to take our life. I'm telling you to people that have illnesses, I know your drugs, I know we have issues. Hey, people call me crazy. I don't see I'm crazy, but they must believe I'm
The
crazy.
producer has his opinions.
Oh yeah, the producer today started screaming at me, you know what I mean? And I wanted to scream back at him, but I didn't.
Well, that's
people
nice.
were
Very
screaming
nice
at
of
me.
you.
You wear the flag, you don't wear the flag, you wear the thing. Everybody always has a comment.
Yeah.
But they take the pictures with me, you know what I mean?
I know.
The religious and not religious. And I'm willing, I'm not ashamed to be
No,
whatever.
you
Like,
are a man of the people.
Are you ready for my joke?
I'm ready after what you said so far.
Right, so my joke, I was at a wedding the other night. First of all, I went to a wedding Sunday night. I went to a wedding Monday night. No, a Tuesday night.
Right.
I went to a Shaver Brachas, a speaking
Yes.
event, which I did very well there. I'm
Okay.
hoping they donate money. I have tonight I have a wedding tonight, which I can't make from a rabbi of a synagogue. I have to help. I have
You're
my,
not going to make it?
I'm
You
like
got enough time.
770. I know. Then I went out.
Where is it?
My niece in Eastern Parkway in Crown Heights.
What time?
But my
you
niece
get
is
there?
making an event, before the bris.
Okay.
We have people come over to say a prayer, and they give you a little food. And I know the food's going to be good. So
All right.
I'm hungry. I didn't eat today.
I was gonna say, you might
I've been
be
on the run from the hospital this morning to
I
inspections.
know
I've
the
been in
feeling.
Queens. I've been all over today, and I worked office, and I met clients.
Yes.
But I want you to know that I'm going to, so this joke, they told
Right.
it to me, and he says, Heshy, by the way, so I did already 4 events, and I'm not even any person, and they keep inviting me. So I go because I if people want me to come, I come. I want to make their event more happy, so I don't care with Jewish. By the way, I went to my broker who's helping me with a building now. He's Italian guy.
I heard one of my friends said he saw you and he texted me right away. He says, what is Heshy Tischler doing on 73rd Street and 3rd Avenue?
Right, with the Italians, right?
Yeah.
So, and you didn't believe it. And then I said, yeah, I had to go. He was having his 40th birthday party.
Wow.
Italians, packed the house.
Italian restaurant over there, yeah.
Right. I went and some guy started a fight with
Which
me.
I was actually in a few days prior. That's why it's even
So
more
I went
connected.
in there, and in comes the priest. The priest comes over to me. Are you the rabbi? I say, happens to be. I have my rabbinical
And
degree.
if you want to call into the show, it is 646-974-15. I know that you're trying to call, but do it through the producer. So obviously, you guys, please do that. Also, hello to Daniel Sweet, never a dull moment. Rachel Bartlett is here. Good evening, beautiful people.
Daniel Sweet's on there?
And William Gonzalez. The chat
I
really.
like William Gonzalez.
William Gonzalez always has a lot to say, and the chat all of a sudden woke up because of that phone call. If you do
Right.
want to call us, 646-974-1580. Do
That
give
was
us
my
a call.
sister.
Yes.
So here's my joke.
I'm ready for it. You've been talking about it for 4 minutes
And
already.
I got you. He had a friend by the name of Chaim. And Chaim was married for a very long time.
Chaim Wolf?
Chaim Wolf. No, if I make fun of Chaim Wolf, he'll kill me. You know?
You'll hear
Oh,
about
he
that.
screams at me.
Aha.
So they were married a long time, Chaim, and this guy got into a car accident.
Sorry.
And his face got really severely burned.
Hmm.
So the doctor said that they couldn't graft any skin from his body because he was too skinny. So the wife offered to donate some of her skin. So they checked out her body, but her skin body wasn't that good except for the skin from her buttocks. So the husband and wife agreed they would all give the skin. The skin came from thing. They put it on, and the surgery was a complete success. And the man's new face looked great. He looked more handsome than ever before. All his friends and relatives went on and say how youthful and beautiful he looked. One day he was alone with his wife, and he was overcome with emotion, and he said, I'm so happy for your sacrifice. He says, dear, I want to thank you for everything you did for me. How can I possibly repay you? And she says, my darling, I get thanks every time I see your mother kiss your face. It's like your mother kissing my ass. You know?
Yeah, well,
Come on, that was funny.
He was waiting for it, and how is your sister? And it's Beryl, by the way. Beryl is here. Benny Kramer. Wants to know how's your sister.
So Esther, thank God we took out all the things. She won't be able to walk for 2 or 3 months. I'm putting her in rehab tomorrow, but she's a trooper. You should see. She's on the phone. She's talking. She's listening to me. I'm going back to the hospital after I visit my niece. I'm going to go back to the hospital and check up on her, and I'm hopefully tomorrow. Douglas Joblin, the vice president.
Yes. And obviously, again, if you do want to call into the show, call through the producer's line. I'm just saying it helps us so we can really get your comment and concern.
But I forgot to shut off the do not disturb. But we want to talk a lot about, and we're going to talk about a lot of stuff.
Yeah, lots of
but I
tonight.
want to talk about something. You people allow illegal protests in New York City. Forget
Yes.
New York City, all around the country, about Palestine, about people being abused, about what is it called when they take over another country? We're in the country. I forgot when they protest. What's it called?
Protest. You're protesting.
When they protest Palestine,
The Free Palestine stuff?
that we're taking over the country.
Boycotts?
Not boycott only, but we own the country, or we're sitting there. We take the land from them.
Well,
Whatever it is.
Whatever you want to say.
Anyways, the point is
Right.
nobody has protested Iran here. I mean, or what
Good
if
point.
they did, it was one. Now, they're not just hurting the people. They shut off their internet. They shut off their phones.
Yep.
They've killed, how many people have they killed?
Between 16,500 and 18,000.
Wait, it gets worse. What else numbers you have over there?
They've wounded between 330,000 and 360,000.
They've wounded!
And 1,000 people have lost an eye so far, and 7,000 people have had some form of eye injury.
So-
What they've done prior.
And they have 800 hangings they're doing.
And what they've done is actually they're using military grade weapons, and they're doing these gunshots that are basically hitting them in the head, the neck, and the chest. So basically it's almost automatic
All
death.
of you in America are not protesting in front over there. You should call into the show and tell us why you're not protesting, why you're not happy. What's the number?
646-974-1580.
But I want you to know something. You all have your mouths. You all scream at me. One guy tells me at the wedding, we don't hear noise from you anymore. What noise do you want from me? I made my noise.
When you made noise, they said you were a rebel rouser.
Right.
When you made noise, they said, "Oh, you're talking too much." But now maybe to them you haven't made noise recently, and now they want you to make noise. Make your mind up.
Make your mind, and not only that, you come out to make noise. I will come help you. But if you're not making the noise, that means I know you're happy with the way it is. I know, like this week alone, 2 more people have been shut down in their houses. People are just going crazy with the Department of Buildings.
Yeah.
Forget the Parks Department. If you ever look at the parks now, they're actually closing them at night, or they're not even shoveling the snow when it comes out there. So you can't even go there. But it's just like nobody cares. I mean, Donnie thinks he's going to run a budget. And then Hochul raises the budget by $6 billion more dollars.
$260 billion budget.
She has no idea how to cover that.
I think
and the worst case scenario is she might raise taxes. I don't need you to raise taxes.
I had said it a few weeks back, and I stand by what I said. This is a systematic effort to destroy the middle class and to wipe out the middle class in New York City.
What did you tell me about the 2nd Avenue train station?
So the 2nd Avenue subway, Hochul now wants to extend it all the way to Harlem, but get this: the original price tag was $7.5 billion.
Oh,
now $13.5.
It doesn't end. Where are you getting this money
And we're not
from?
even getting this.
And if you went to another country like China or whatever, it's like 1/10 the price.
$13.5 billion for a couple of extra subway stops, and we're not getting it still for years.
For years.
And I want to know. We talk about this all the time. I just got off the train because I was in Manhattan this time, coming from Manhattan here.
Yeah.
The congestion pricing they said was going to give us better
say
service,
it's so great, it's
better
bull.
trains. I've never seen in all my life, and I realize I'm not as old as some people listening to this show, but I've been riding the subway all my life. I have never seen the subway this bad. Every day, every week, there's a delay. There's something. The N train runs local. They don't tell you. The W train runs on the N line. The D train stuck.
Right.
With all the money we're generating with congestion pricing, you would do something. But it just seems like the subways are in worse shape than they've ever been. I've ever seen.
The worst part is the congestion maybe is working in Midtown Manhattan because that's where the tolls are. But in the beginning, where the real congestion is, it doesn't help because people are not going over the borderline, and cars are still coming in there. This congestion pricing is causing more traffic, more trouble.
Well, that's why I think Trump does want to stop it. He's gotten off his.
I don't know how he's stopping it.
I believe it's going back to court now.
I hope so.
It's going back to court, and Trump, I think, has had enough of it.
By the way, you brought up the Trump story.
Yes.
They're betting, some guy, Market Kalish.
70% odds of him getting Greenland, right? 70%?
Not Greenland, no. That he's either going to resign, get
Greenland
impeached.
70%. I got that.
Forget Greenland, but I'm saying Trump will either resign, get impeached, or the 25th Amendment. I don't see Trump resigning. I don't see at all any way that he'll get an impeachment, even in 2 years. That even if they take over the Congress and the Senate, till it gets to impeachment, would take 2 years.
But what if the Democrats don't take the U.S. Senate?
Okay, but still, it takes 2 years to get somebody impeached. You saw last time.
But it's proven a point.
Okay, the point, and they'll never get the 60% vote anyways.
But it's to prove a point.
Okay.
Their base wants
and they're
it.
wasting more money. And then the third thing is that his own people, the 25th Amendment, will get him out of office. You know that. He has good people around him this time. Nobody's going to get him
I
out.
hope he has good people around him with that, because it seems like the way things are going right now, there was a poll that came out with, there was the Cook.
Please. Yes, 58%.
No. It was the Cook report, and they shifted 18 races in favor to Democrats in the House right now. If you look at the Democrats have a very.
Well, they're trying to cheat. Look, you know what's her name?
Nicole Maliotakis.
Yeah, what's going on over there?
So apparently,
we have a real Republican district.
Yep.
And it's well done.
A judge, get this, a Supreme Court judge who was the chief of counsel once upon a time to Kathy Hochul, would not recuse himself in the case, ruled that the district is invalid because it violates the Voting Rights Act, when meanwhile, and I'm not the biggest Nicole Maliotakis fan, I'm really not, but she's actually a minority. She's Hispanic, she's Cuban, and now they say that they have to redraw the district between now and February 6th, and the plaintiffs, who again were minorities, actually want to extend it to white liberal areas in Manhattan. So help me understand this. You're going to redraw a district, and what you wanted was not for it to go into areas like, let's say, Sunset Park or Coney Island, where maybe I'd buy it to some extent, but now you want to shift it all the way into white liberal areas like the West Village, like
sense.
Battery Park City.
It's stupid.
It doesn't. Well, it's done because the Democrats, and the guy that was the lawyer was Mark Elias, who was the Clinton lawyer. Yeah. So this was all a scheme. Now they're going to appeal it. She's going to appeal. You know, they're going to take
more money, more time in court instead of you taking
care of the
people's
Court of Appeals,
problems.
and it may go to the Supreme Court. But the Supreme Court just ruled in the California case.
Look, people, just live your lives, keep fighting, keep making sure you do the best you can, like me, and I'm going to keep going. That's what you can do. Doing. Yeah.
That's what you can do.
By the way,
Mr. Justin Parsley wanted to say, how are you doing today? My hall monitor on Sports Fire Radio, who's returning on his birthday. Let's give him a happy early birthday. Saturday is his
birthday.
birthday.
You know, my birthday is January 29th.
I know that because one of my friends actually is now friends with you on Facebook, who you know said that the first thing he's doing on January 29th at midnight is wishing you a happy birthday.
Wow.
Mr. Joseph Rosas. But
my children don't even know what my birthday is.
And Linda had a birthday recently.
Not yet, January 27th.
Well, right, 27, 29,
Me
right.
and her are going to spend it together.
Oh, well, it was very nice of you to spend it early with Linda.
Yeah, we're going to go out to dinner because our kids won't treat us to nothing.
Where are you
They're
going?
going to make me pay. I'm going to no, I would like to go to Essen.
Why not?
But Linda wants something nicer, so I'll take it
not almonds, then.
I'm going to take it to a burger bar.
What about Joseph's Dream Burger?
They're okay, but not for me. I'd rather go to Subsational. They have some great hamburgers, and they're cheap at $4.50 each.
Okay, well, we know you're going to definitely want to go there then.
And I get fries on the side.
That's very nice of you.
I want to ask you something.
You asked me.
I am not against ICE. But yes, I do not like that ICE said that they have a right to go into people's houses without a warrant. I do not like that.
I agree with you on that.
The Constitution says it. So there is, even when you're happy with an agency doing a good job, right, they get to abuse their privileges. And I don't believe that the borders our homes would allow that. To break, he's very much into the Constitution and the laws. Why would he allow something like that? I disagree with you.
I think the problem is right now we're seeing what's going on in all these big cities, and that what seems to be is that ICE has come in, and we saw it, Minneapolis. We've seen what's happened in Chicago.
What happened in Minneapolis?
Well, we talk about Renee Good, right?
They killed it, but she tried to run somebody over. If somebody's trying to run me over, I'm going to shoot them. Yeah. Especially if I'm a police officer, and it's not the first time they said she did it.
No.
What did you say? Was the wife or something?
She was saying drive, basically telling her, even though the officer was
go away. They should have run away, not
but
run
the
over.
Officer told her to stop, and she was telling her drive. So the officer said for her to stop.
The officer blocked the car? No, so this she went to run over the officer originally.
Right, but she shouldn't have done that though.
Right.
The officer, when an officer stops you have to stop. Right. Anything else, but she was an anti-ICE protester, and obviously her wife said right afterward that
she's gay.
Well, thank you for letting the audience know.
People don't know.
I understand, but what I wanted to say was what her wife actually said after what happened. She felt some blame and responsibility for it. That's what I read in the New York Post 2 days ago.
She should be blamed for it.
Yeah, she did. I agree with you.
She should be blamed. Well, first of all,
and she was labeled a domestic terrorist.
When I'm driving in a car and I see a police officer, if anything, I pull over. I try not to let them follow me. I don't want them to see I do anything.
I remember years ago, I was in the car with my dad, and he was just driving on Victory Boulevard, and he just randomly got stopped by a cop. He stopped. I remember when I was 19 on 86th Street. I got stopped by a cop. I had nothing wrong, no issues. But I was, taking.
I have a right to question. I have a right to give my no ID. I have a right to ask.
But if a police officer tells you to stop, regardless of the situation, you have.
He has a gun. You don't.
Exactly.
Now, if you feel that your life is in danger by that officer, then you call 911 and report him, or you call a supervisor, or you videotape the conversation, like I've done many times. And that's
But now what the left is doing is, and I'm with you. I don't think ICE should overstep. But what the left seems to now want to do is abolish ICE altogether, defund it.
That's what Mandani said. Yeah. Abolish ICE completely. Are you stupid?
The reason we have this problem is because of big city incompetency, like the mayor in Chicago, like Gavin Newsom in California,
like Minnesota,
and Jacob Frey, and Joe Biden. Really, this is all Joe Biden's
And you
mess.
see how much better it is with the borders closed. Now, everybody's gonna say.
I'm glad you brought that up because I believe we had either no immigrants come in, or the lowest in 50 years.
Now, I'm not.
Fifth lowest number.
People are saying to me, Heshy, are you against immigrants? First of all, I'm not against
legal immigration.
No, but even illegal immigrants.
Legal immigration.
Here's my problem with the immigrants.
Okay.
The United States is the greatest experiment in the world.
Okay.
Not just a country. It's an experiment of the melting pot. That means we all have to be one people. In France, everybody speaks French. They're all the same. In England, they're the same way. In Canada, if you're not one of them. In Spain, all these countries, you have to be of their kind of descent from their kind of people. In America, we say no. Everybody's welcome. The melting pot says that we should all act the same. Nobody's telling you to follow my religion or your religion. You can be Jewish, you can be Muslim, but don't push it on somebody else. Speak English. Run the country the same way. There should be no second language of Spanish. There should be, you can speak Spanish at home, you can speak Yiddish at home. My parents spoke Yiddish, my parents spoke Hungarian.
But the official language of the United States
is English.
That's
okay, and when you go get a job, you should be talking to me. I shouldn't be able to. I have people
But
coming
it goes
in.
off what you said. I read something
They
the
have
other
to
day.
learn, and it's not that hard.
But there's a systematic effort to change that, and I'll tell you where it
I
comes
have
from.
a client.
Okay.
I had tenants that were brought in by the city, and they couldn't speak English. And the commissioner or my chief had to translate for me. I said, I understand you. They're not legal here, or they're legal here. They can't speak English, and I need you to translate for me.
Right. But going back to what you said about Memdani, there is an effort to systematically change our way of life, and that comes from the Council of American Islamic Relations. And who did they help get elected to mayor? Memdani.
Yeah.
And they have a coordination with these white leftists to change our subculture, and you are seeing that play out more
But
and
it's
more.
not fair.
It's not
America
fair.
is not white, not black, not Hispanic, not Asian. It's for everybody.
Exactly.
So if you want to be
One nation under God.
even if you're illegal,
One nation under God.
that's the problem with you. You're being illegal and you're making believe I don't understand. I want interpreters. That's how they get you. Once you act American and
Right.
you dress like us and you act. Look at me. I'm Jewish. I dress religious.
Yes.
I dress, but I don't. I dress my way. Now you have the Hasidic, the Orthodox.
Yes.
You have the Orthodox Pakistani, the Orthodox Muslims.
Yes.
Nobody's telling you how to dress.
Absolutely.
But when you're in America, you have to pay taxes. You have to open up a store and run it with American signs and get a permit
Yeah.
and not do anything wrong. You have to be able to drive a car and not take a test in Asian or Spanish. You know, when I run for office, they say we're going to make the ballot also in Asian and Spanish. This is how it's going to come out.
Yep.
Why? Everything has to be in English.
Well, they've done the Democratic Party. And obviously, if you want to call into the show, call in through the producer's line. There is a line there. So if you want to do that, it's 646-974-15. And tell us why Heshy should talk in Yiddish for next week's show.
Well, anyways, that's my story with that.
Yep. But by the way, you want to joke? By the way, you know what you really should have said for your joke of the week was Kathy Hochul was in a church, the Absent Church in Harlem, and she said about Alvin Bragg that one day she could see Alvin Bragg as Attorney General. That should have been your joke of the week.
Gosh, I will fight him. That's no way. I got to become a lawyer so I can run against
Well,
him.
what's going on with that, by the way?
I'm not. I'm going to be in next semester. I've been so overwhelmed.
Yeah,
with,
you
with
have a
all
lot
the
going on.
problems, and you know, I also have a personal life. People don't even
I know.
understand that. And
It's tough right now. It's really tough times out there.
A year is coming up where her mother passed away.
Yeah.
So I want to prepare a trip for her to take her to
tribute.
her mother's grave to Israel. I also am making her better. I'm taking care of my sister, the family, my life, my children, my nieces, my nephews, and I have a job and all of that. So and they all want me to run for elections, and I'm on 4 different boards. And you keep forgetting I also have my charitable
You're in the
work.
Republican Party organization.
Right. You
Yep.
know, people laugh at me. Oh, it's 11 o'clock. Is it late at night? I say yes, but you're calling me anyways. You know what I mean?
Well-
By the way, if you notice, my son is so busy. You
Yes.
think that he's going to take me out for my birthday? He wouldn't even hang up the Just Enough.
Well,
Heshy
I
sign.
think what he's-
for 4 weeks I've been asking him to hang up. I give him enough money. He won't buy a
No,
school guy.
so I have a response
He won't
to
even
that.
put the Just
I
Enough Heshy
have
sign up.
a response to that.
we're moving,
Here is his
You know, we're
response.
moving to a new studio.
Yes, but hold
A
on.
better studio.
Now, tell us that in a minute, but I have what the producer
You're
told
going
me.
to defend him?
Well, here's what I'm
How
not
can
saying.
you defend him? He couldn't spend $7 on a staple gun?
I gotta tell you his response.
Yeah.
So his
I
response,
heard his response.
his
He's an
response was
idiot.
that he was waiting for it to say just enough Heshy for XO in office. Vote for him November. He's gonna change the banner to say vote Heshy Tischler November for XYZ
Oh,
district.
God.
That's why. So we have a new studio. Do you want to share details of
No,
when
we're
we're
moving to a brand new studio in about a month. It's going to be more professional, and maybe the microphones and everything won't break on us.
Well, what do you think the dynamic's going to be like between you and the producer? Are you going to be shouting it from him? Is the door going to be closed? What do you think the dynamic's going to be like?
We don't need to close the door there because it's our own big building. So it'll be
well,
very nice.
and by the way, Beryl wants to say, aren't we all immigrants?
We are. But we all understand America. We all want to make money here.
Yes.
That's the problem. When you don't want to be part of the melting pot, then you're not going to be contributing, which means you're going to be taking.
Yep.
And I have no problem that you're taking if you have to take, but you're going to screw us and you want us, I have to speak Spanish to you, I have to speak Russian to you. You have to be prepared when you go to a store with a shopping list, right? You know what you're going to go buy.
I tell you what I think it is.
My children don't. They just go in and shop and use my credit card.
I tell you what I think it is. For generations, people that came to this country, whatever the background was, they learned English. But what you've seen...
But they learned the American system.
Yes, but what you've seen now is you don't see that now.
Yeah.
You're not seeing that people come in the same way, like generation after generation, and learn, like you said, the American way, wanted to assimilate in the community,
My parents spoke English at home and Hungarian all the time. That's how I learned it. But when we were out or when we were in school, you spoke English.
Exactly.
Even today, the Jewish schools, they learn their stuff in Yiddish, but they teach English. They want to make sure you're part of the system. You have to know how to write a check. Sometimes I stand in line in the bank and they're looking for a Spanish teller or a Russian teller because they don't know what they're reading.
It happened to me a couple weeks ago.
It's not right. You're going to a bank to deposit or take out money and you're speaking to, I understand that you have some problems, but if you don't even know how to do banking, man, there's a problem.
That was a simple thing we were taught in school.
I understand you're not the brightest person, but most people are.
Well,
and you have to be able to follow the system.
That
the
is
melting pot, that's what upsets us about the immigrants.
Yes, and obviously, if you want to tell Heshy about that, also you can email him, justenoughheshy@gmail.com.
By the way, your councilman,
yes,
not mine, Simcha Felder, who was nobody's seen.
It wasn't Nina Vernikov, right?
It wasn't Nina Vernikov. There was a pig who went to the
not literally a pig, but a pig.
But there was in Gravesend Park
on 18th Avenue.
18th Avenue. Somebody vandalized.
A park you're very famous for.
Right. Put about 100 SWAT stickers all over the place.
2 days in a row, right?
Right. And first of all, Mr. Felder, this is right in your backyard, not even a few blocks from where you live.
Yes.
Or fakely live, wherever. And your office. No police, no cameras, no protection. You didn't speak to the neighbors. You allowed this to happen. And you know what he gets on? He gets on
the press release, yes.
The press release. I'm calling for increased NYP patrols.
And then Memdani made it.
Why didn't we have increased NYPD patrols till now?
Because Simcha Felder's in New Jersey right now.
But just for robberies, rapes, and killings, no problem. This is just, I'm telling you, he's incompetent.
I think it's just the overall quality of life in New York. I was in something before I came here, and the lady was talking about the quality of life in New York. And I was in a room with different people, all different backgrounds. And it universally seems that the quality of life in New York City, it maybe is at the lowest point we've been in I want to say in a long time, decades.
This is the greatest city in the world. You can do anything. You can go anywhere. You can go to any show.
But we're not doing nothing. We're not doing nothing with the homeless.
Right.
We're not improving quality of life. Cost of living is going up.
I have a homeless man that calls me every day. I found him in a synagogue. I'm trying to find him a place to live. I told him where to go to a place. The point is he wants to live in the neighborhood, and we don't care about him. We're not taking care of him. We're letting him rot on the street.
Do you know that the median home...
It's not that you can't afford. You could.
You can't. The average median home now in New York City is $780,000.
I just want to tell you something. Rent today is about an average between $2,700 to $3,000 for a 3-bedroom apartment.
Yes, the average median is about $2,200.
A 3-bedroom apartment takes between 6 to 8 people, but comfortably 6 people. Okay, 4 kids, 2 adults, and you have a living room.
Right.
Average rent is between $2,700 to $3,000. Oh, Heshy, it's out of reach. If you just earned a minimum wage of about $25 an hour, you're making roughly about $1,000 a week without overtime? Okay, so you're right. It's about 3 weeks worth of pay. I got that. That's with only one guy.
But remember, $1,000 a week, you're getting taxed.
You're getting taxed. I got that.
You're really taking away $700.
I got you. And then you have of course, you need a second job if you're having so many kids. And if not, you can get supplemental. But it seems to me I understand, but it seems to me like if you're somebody like me or younger, it's out of reach to buy a home. Now, for me, my situation is different. I'm not saying me individually. You know where I really want to live? I really want to live in the Trump Towers. I think it will be the
I was there
coolest.
once.
Okay, I was there also. I was never really inside. I want to live in the Trump Towers. I have a friend that I know, a client, not a friend.
Based on the credit
who
card
owns-
charges, so maybe you could.
But I have a friend who's a client who owns a townhouse in Midtown Manhattan at $12 million. And who's that other guy? That football player that got thrown out of football? Pasternak, you know, the guy who kneeled all the time.
Colin Kaepernick.
Kaepernick.
Yeah.
He just sold his condo for $3 million.
Oh, for sure.
Overlooking the ocean. I want to live in this city. I can't afford to live in this city, so I live in Brooklyn. Some people can't live in Brooklyn, so they live in Far Rockaway. Some people can't live in Far Rockaway, so they go to the suburbs. But if you want to live in the city, you have to work. You have to work 2 jobs. Your wife has to work. And we're giving you aftercare programs. If there's a way for you to want to put in your hours, and I'm not telling you to work 18 hours like me, 8-10 hours every day.
But people
5 days
feel
a week.
like that. What used to be is the American dream, that it seems to be out of reach.
Okay,
in New
so
York
but the
City.
American dream does not say to buy. New York City, there is no houses. The houses are not in New York City. There's barely any homes. It's all apartments or complexes or whatever. If you have a home, it's a mansion and it's way out of your
But
reach.
that's why I read that.
But you can buy homes in Brooklyn. You can go. You know, Brownsville is a bad neighborhood. It is.
Yes.
I'm going to tell you. So why don't 100 of us friends go buy up a couple of blocks, bad houses that make the neighborhood better?
because you might have those couple of blocks nice, but then go outside those
So
couple
again,
of blocks.
create your own. Again, you can make.
People
Brooklyn,
don't wanna go
where
with that.
I live now was a bad drug-infested
Yes.
neighborhood. I moved in there. I got friends to come into the neighborhood, just like my son's building. We took it over. We had other people move in. We got community activists. We got.
But people don't want to go through that.
Well, I'm sorry. You mean you
know.
don't want to work to make your life better?
People feel that they don't want to do
So
that.
you're just entitled to it.
No, I mean I'm not
you,
saying,
I'm saying, but I'm talking
But
to
that's
them.
how people feel, and also Beryl wants to say, but see, if you speak Spanish and English, you make more money than a person who
I
only
get it.
speaks
You
English.
should speak Spanish and English. And if you speak Yiddish and Spanish and Russian and Hebrew, you'll make more money. I have clients.
Yes.
I make more money because I'm able to speak a few words of Hebrew,
You
very
are.
few. I'm able to speak fluently Yiddish. I'm able to speak a little bit of Spanish, like Canada and whatever. But I have Spanish people working for me. I understand that if you're multilingual, you'll make more money.
Mm-hmm.
Again, that's not my point. You come here, you have to be able to learn to melting pot with all of us. I'm telling you that 99% of the Jews, even if they don't speak English, I mean they don't want to speak English, all understand English.
Yeah.
Okay. Most Russians do learn to speak the English language.
Yeah.
Okay. You don't need. When I'm in the courts, I don't really see Russian translators. Most of the time, it's usually the Spanish people that need translators or the Asians, and that's a problem
Yeah.
for me. You know, it's not right. And what I'm doing is when I see they're really lying, they're tricking us to make believe they're stupid. And that's how ICE gets you, because if you're going to act like an immigrant, they'll come after you.
Well, I think we have a problem with big cities, and that's the way
Just
it
like,
goes.
you know, that idiot Waltz there who ran for vice president. So they have billions and billions of dollars in fraud. We've spoken about it.
Yep.
And the federal government is investigating it, and he wants to be part of the investigation. You had the chance to investigate. You're part of the trouble. We're going to investigate you. You just want to know what's going on. No. We're going to investigate to see what troubles you caused,
Yeah.
and you should not be part of the investigation. You should not be. You're the person that caused billions and billions of dollars, not from your state, from the federal
But Democrats,
government.
the Democrats don't see it that way. Just like the guy that ruled against the Maliotakis case, he obviously had a vested interest.
He wants
but
the
that-
black people to be more in the district, but he ends up when they redistrict, it won't be black at all.
No, that's the thing that's comical. That in that case, that 10 to 19% of people in the district, their votes weren't being counted to their preferred candidates, but they're then going to be shifting to areas that are by and large even more, let's say, white than the areas that they previously were in Brooklyn. But that's because it violates the Voting Rights Act. Yeah.
Now, I want to tell you something about Trump, and I don't
Let's
know if
talk
I
about
said
it.
this before.
Well,
Everybody
again.
keeps saying Trump is going to skirt the Constitution and run for a third term. I don't know how he's going to do that. Now, legally, it's a very technical thing that it says two consecutive terms.
Right.
So they'll fight him in court and so on and so forth. He'll fight back. But I think he's going to be too old. He's going to be 81. He's
I
not
was
gonna
going to
run
say,
again.
we're talking about
But
him
Michelle
80.
Obama, in an interview, said that if Trump runs for a third term, then Obama will run against him.
That's just for clicks.
Yeah, I know.
You really think Michelle Obama is going to run? No
Not
chance.
Michelle. She's
Barack?
going to run Barack.
Barack's finished.
Michelle is not going to beat Trump.
No, but I don't think Barack will
Barack
either.
is
I think
finished, too.
Barack Obama's finished. I
Yeah,
think
he's not gonna-
He's also the reason for all these problems we have right
But
now.
he gets up there and he says, immigration and this and that. He deported more people than Trump.
and his laws are
And you know who was his Balazar? Holmes.
right. But the irony of it also, his laws are the reasons we have these problems with the Somalians.
Yeah.
His problems, all the Afghanis that came in, he selected states to put people in conveniently. So this stuff is all his fault. And the way he treated things with Israel and the whole situation, we talk about what Iran from the very beginning, it's his fault.
And by the way,
he did nothing with Iran.
I have no problem with the Muslims doing their religion. I have a lot of Muslim friends.
Yeah.
But there's no reason to be on the street. So people said to me, well, how come the Jews on Hanukkah can light a Hanukkah candle? I said, it's once a year, a ceremony that we do on the street. We light a candle to show the world and have a party for everybody. When the Muslims bow on the street and close down blocks, there's no party, there's no food. If you had food, then I have no problem. I'll come. It's
And hello to Infinite Justice. Infinite Justice has arrived. Thank you, Infinite Justice, for coming here for tonight's show.
I want to ask you a question.
You ask me anything you
Bernie
want.
Sanders is busy in Vermont. I mean, he has enough problems in Vermont.
Yes.
He comes to New York.
Yes.
Tells Mandani that we should make a deal with the nurses. Now, I believe
Yeah.
those nurses who are getting paid really top dollar.
Yeah.
Okay. And they can go private are now protesting, shutting down our sick. And
No, I'm sorry, man.
I believe they should all be fired. There's enough nurses. Everybody says they're firing nurses, they're laying off nurses. Go hire the ones that need the jobs.
Absolutely.
These nurses that are protesting are
That's the
stupid.
free market.
Yeah.
That's the free market.
Even if they are, Bernie Sanders should not be mixing in.
Bernie Sanders spends more time in New York than he does for his own state.
Go back to Vermont, man.
I guess he forgot that he moved out of Brooklyn. And
Yeah.
he comes here and injects us with his opinions, which I don't think are warranted.
Let's go to Greenland.
Let's talk about it. I'm waiting for this.
First of all, according to what I heard from Trump, by the way, recently, he believes that the Ukraine and Russian war is near an end. Now you're going to say, "Oh wow,
We've
it
been
took
waiting a while
forever."
for this, yeah.
Okay, it's not a while. I know you were going to say that.
It is
It's
a
not
while.
even a year that he took over office.
Well, but it goes before Trump. We're talking about, it goes back to Biden. We're talking about 4+
No,
years.
I'm saying the war is happening, but Trump said he's going to make peace,
Okay.
and he is there negotiating when when Biden never did, and he says now that the peace deal is very close.
Okay.
I can't wait, and still they're not going to give him the Nobel Peace Prize.
Nobel Peace Prize is rigged. It's like the United Nations. I mean, listen.
The Nobel Peace Prize was given by a guy who was an animal. Okay, he took, and at the end of the day, he saw that he was wrong, so he created a Nobel Peace Prize, and it now extended. The man who was the most vicious, hateful taker ends up giving a prize.
Listen, they gave
for being good.
They gave the Nobel Peace Prize to an anti-Semite in Jimmy Carter. Jimmy Carter might have did all this stuff with Habitat for Humanity, but we know what he did toward Israel.
Yeah.
You look at
The only
Barack
thing
Obama getting the Nobel Peace Prize. We know what he did to Israel.
The only thing
you
about
think
Jimmy
about every
Carter
Democrat
is,
that gets
even
the
though I hate Jimmy Carter so much, but in 1978, when Sadat came to Israel, and we had peace with the Arabs in Egypt, that started. I know it's 40 years since the
Right,
peace,
45 years.
but it takes time. It takes time,
But he allowed Iran to
Yeah.
basically fest. I mean, listen, Jimmy Carter, they gave him the Nobel Peace. Every person.
He could have sent. He sent people. The Israelis wanted to go get the hostages back. Jimmy Carter didn't let.
And
Then he sent his own crew that were not professional like today, and they all got killed. All he had to do was keep sending. Go attack Iran. You have our hostages, man. Why did you wait for Reagan? That's
all what every Democrat does. Infinite Justice makes an excellent point. Quality of life directly correlates to moral quality, spiritual, and mental IQ. It's a great point. Yeah. And I think right now people feel that quality of life is terrible. It's terrible right now.
Yeah, we're getting exhausted, and the winter is getting. To me.
My God, this is the worst winter in years.
I
Now,
know.
what do you think they're talking
And
about?
I see people walking around without coats. I'm also to blame too because I walked home Friday night. But the point is now when you say you have COVID, don't tell me you have COVID. You have the flu, you have pneumonia because you went out without
or
the
novo
coat.
virus, they say the virus. But what do you think? Are we getting this big snow? They're saying, it's going to be for days. We're going to be trapped.
1 foot of snow, not even. And that 1 foot of snow is going to, like last Saturday, I was walking in the snow back to the hospital. Snowstorm for a whole day. I'm telling you, I don't even think it was like 3 inches of snow.
Yeah, like an
and
inch,
if the
yeah.
shoveling
The next
trucks
day
are
was
out
like
there,
3
right,
inches.
and if the shoveling trucks are out there and the people go out there, 12 inches of snow should not attack you and close down this city. But thank God it'll happen.
But we got Memdani. Listen, we got, I will say,
I hope
we have.
Mandani doesn't screw us.
But Memdani, I think that's why people are worried right now, because Memdani now, with this, don't forget, years ago, we had Bloomberg, we had a problem with a snowstorm, don't forget. So that's why people are concerned.
And de Blasio tried to save money.
He didn't get the snowplow out.
Right. How do you not send, even if there's no snow, you send them out to be ready?
Because once again...
And he didn't save money because it ended up costing us millions and millions of dollars shutting down the city.
Once again, purpose plans to destroy quality of life for the middle class. Who does that impact most? When you don't shovel and don't improve the roads, the middle class. That's a simple point.
But
simple
you know how
that.
to dig up the streets, close down streets, pay billions of dollars to independent contractors that are doing nothing or putting cameras in the phone. Oh, they're upgrading. You know what? Give a local job to when you're changing the pipes in a community, find we all have local plumbers, we all have local contractors. Give the job to somebody in that community.
Absolutely.
Not give it to one guy all over the city. Give those contracts out. And when we were doing the toilet program, they gave it out to 100 different local contractors. And one contractor got stuck, so one of the supervisors asked my company to go help his company. And each one of us were independent, and we were all doing it, and we got millions and millions. I did alone 30,000 toilets. We did millions and millions, like 1.5 million toilet bowls were changed in New York City in less than a 2-year period to the low flush gallon toilets. Now, if that was able to be done because of the independent people, okay, but if you give it to one guy, of course he's going to rip out the town. They shut down blocks without anything, without warning, and not one block, 10, 15 blocks. Now, instead of traveling for 20 minutes, you have to travel an hour to get somewhere, and just in your local community. It's crazy.
I read something that from 2018 to 2022, 125,000 people moved from New York to Florida, costing the city $14 billion. Now, how many people do you think will move between now and, let's say, 2029?
But the problem is the people that are taking over those job-producing, tax-producing, income-making business owners are going to be the illegal immigrants who are just going to get on more welfare, take more from the city, and we end up losing. I mean, there's
Memdani wants to raise taxes.
Right, Memdani wants to, and he's upset with Hochul for not raising taxes.
Yeah, and Hochul's afraid of Memdani because they asked Hochul about that today, and she was like, almost like, I'm aware of it. Like she don't want to go against him because she needs
to get his endorsement.
Exactly. She needs to get his endorsement.
I don't know. I hope Bruce Blakely beats her. I don't know. I hope she loses the primary to that guy.
He might be worse.
I know.
He'd be worse.
But at least if he beats her in the primary, Bruce Blakeman has a chance to beat him.
Be careful what you wish for.
I know.
Be careful what you... By the way, I read something about Rikers Island, that Rikers Island was supposed to have closed in 2027, and Memdani has no plan.
No plan.
No nothing.
And they're going to break the federal government, and they're going to make more jails, and it's going to cost us more money. Again,
and where are these jails going?
Right.
Where are these jails going?
And now I found out why people do illegal work in their homes.
Why?
Because they don't want to report it to the city, because if they improve their home, their taxes go up. I'm making my home better, and you're raising my taxes? Are you stupid? He's just stupid. Again, more stupidity, more fines. I got a ticket in the middle of the night, about 11 o'clock, and I went to a wedding.
Okay.
And I didn't park in the crosswalk. I parked at the edge of the crosswalk. I was a little bit in the crosswalk. Mm-hmm. They gave me a ticket.
I'm not surprised.
$15. Now, this is your business. You have ticketing people out in the middle of the night that looking for trouble. But if you had them out during the day, instead of giving them night work, they can move traffic along better and won't have congestion.
But you answered your own question. Right. They were doing it to raise tickets.
Right.
Daniel Sweet wants to say they're redoing the street in Borough Park for a green drainage.
You believe it? Is that just stupid? And they're talking you into solar, and they're giving money for solar, which never really works anyways.
Never works.
It's the dumbest thing in the world.
Works.
And it ends up, anybody who says this free. So today I had a friend of mine who owns a fencing company, and I'm helping them with their home. Solar, I'm putting in solar. I said, solar to do what? To do what? Now, I understand if you're upstate and you're not in your house, so you have the solar energy. So when you're not around, it runs it, even though it costs too much money.
Right.
So you never run out of power on
No.
a power, because over there, they're power outages. When was the last time you had a blackout in New York City? 7 years?
2003, the big one.
Right. Basically, even if it happens once
No,
every 20
2021. We had, remember in the summer, we actually had a blackout, and it was for several hours. It was a really bad like thunderstorm, and they shut the subways down, and
that was for the Sunday they shut. But again,
But
the
we had a
last
blackout.
big blackout that shut down the whole seaboard was 2004.
2003. You know, I remember I was working in a supermarket.
2003 or
I was
2004?
2003. I was working in a
I was
supermarket.
driving on the street when all the lights went down.
I walked home from work, and it was dark because I worked at a supermarket on Manor Road in Staten Island, and I walked home, and it was just like I was terrified. And it was so hot that night. It was so hot. I actually slept with my parents in their bedroom.
I went into my car and turned on the air conditioning, and I had, but again, generators. All you have to do, guys, instead of going out for an extra dinner or extra movie, buy yourself a generator for $500. Keep it there. You can buy a gas electric generator. You don't have to keep it together. You keep it out in the garage or the backyard or the side, and boom, the second it goes dead, you will have enough energy to last you for 8 or 10 hours.
And thank you to our listeners listening to us here for the last 50 minutes, for the next few seconds on the Talkline Radio Network. Thank you. We will see you next week. We'll have a lot to talk about here on the Justin F. Heshy Show with Tom and Heshy. And stay safe, stay warm.
And I'll tell you all about my bris that we're having tomorrow.
Which will be 2084 60th Street for 9:30. Make sure it's on the corner of 21st and 60th. It's right by the B9 bus and 3 blocks away from the N train.
That's right. Which bus is there?
The B9.
The B9.
B9 goes along 60th.
It stops right in front.
Right in front, and you have the N train if you're coming from the subway, which is on 20th Avenue and 63rd Street.
2 blocks away.
That's it. That's it.
Thank you so much. I hope that you come.
I'm gonna try to come.
I know. You're a busy man in the morning.
I was supposed to go to Hoboken, New Jersey tomorrow, but now I have to reevaluate those plans.
What's in Hoboken?
I have a job in Hoboken, New Jersey tomorrow.
Hoboken, how do you get there?
So I take the bus into Brooklyn. I take the train, and I take the train to Fulton Street, and I go under the Oculus, and I take the PATH train, and I go like 3 stops on the PATH, and I walk like 4 blocks off the PATH train.
How long is this trip?
It's about an hour and 45 minutes.
To get to Hoboken.
An hour and 45.
Now, if I went in my car and I didn't have to pay congestion pricing, I could be there in 30 minutes.
Yes. Well, yeah, I don't want to pay congestion pricing. That's the point.
I know. Well, you're saving about $100 in tolls and congestion pricing and gas and because whatever. They're crazy.
So tariffs are no vote.
I disagree. I believe that the reason they put a hold on the tariffs in Greenland is with the European nations is because they are discussing to give Greenland to us or buy it. Now, I believe we shouldn't use military force, but Denmark is losing money. They're not running the country right anyways. The Chinese and the Russians are all over the place over there.
Right.
Do you understand that they're right on our border, Greenland? They're all over active. That means if they want to attack us, we have one, just for your knowledge, we have one nuclear facility, and that's in Greenland over there to protect us against the Chinese and the Russians. They have like 50 of them on our border. So we need Greenland because Greenland is going to close that station soon.
So what do you say, though, when there was polling about...
And we'll do a better job running Greenland.
I understand that, and I understand that side of it, but what do you say...
There's only, 54,000 people there?
But when you hear polling that only 30% of Republicans had wanted Trump to go into Greenland, what are your thoughts on that?
The reason is because it's the money. If it didn't cost us any money and we were able to make that country profitable, I promise you the Republicans would have no comment, no problem with it. Democrats would have no problem with it. But every country, as you know, with the politicians, they use and take and they lose money. You know, if I was mayor of New York City, I promise you, I would cut the budget down and make this city so profitable, so much tourism, we'd have a zero deficit here. We'd be selling bonds that people would be buying like you never saw before. We would be taking no money from the federal government, which we would take. Right. Our trains would run better. I would have more service out there. I'd make deals with Uber and Amazon and Google.
Oh, the government waste is just...
They're just lazy, stupid idiots. And I would threaten the city council. You're not taking a vote? I'm going to cut all your funding. Judges, you're not moving cases along? I'm cutting all your parking spaces, all your staff members. Go ahead, sit in
There's
your...
a part of me that feels we should abolish the city council.
Yeah.
You know why? Because what do they really do? They get $150,000 plus a year.
$180,000
They get
plus.
chairmanships. They have district
They walk
office.
away with $400,000. Then
That was my point.
Isn't $500,000?
And they only vote one time a month?
Yeah.
You mean to tell me that they have this job, which basically they do nothing in, and these are people that are supposed to be representing us?
And the state senate only runs for 6 months.
Only 6 months
and
a
they
year.
vote right.
And they only meet something like in those 6 months, like 60 days. And on top of that, they're getting almost the same money, and they even have more power.
Yeah, right. And you know, I just don't understand that how we allow this government to screw us, and we keep electing these stupid idiots. I'm sorry, I know you hear me complain.
No, people,
so
as
they
I
all
think
tell
people-
me run. You're right. I did try to run. You know, I was talking to a group of people on Monday night,
Right.
And I said to them, they said to me, they were making fun of me. Oh, has she run so many times? You know, before they announced me, so on. I said, let me tell you something. In the Bible, Jacob had a brother, Esau. Jacob was the good one, Esau was the bad one. And in the Bible, one of the things, it says Jacob, when he bumped into his enemy, Esau, that was going to kill him, he bowed to his brother 7 times. So they ask, why did he bow 7 times? He was trying to teach the world that you can fall down and get up.
Absolutely.
So don't be scared to fall 7 times. He says, go and cut up. You're right. They said, I think, is this my 7th election I'm going to run it?
Well, Abraham Lincoln ran a bunch of times.
Right.
Abraham Lincoln kept running. Barack Obama did not win his first election. Bill Clinton.
Barack also lost 2 elections.
Bill Clinton lost an election.
Yeah.
I mean, you can look back in history, and there are many people that have run for office and lost.
Yeah.
I mean,
Even, what's the name again? He ran for president, lost, became senator, Grover Cleveland.
Grover Cleveland.
Yeah.
I mean, Mitt Romney lost and came back to U.S. Senate.
I don't know
Not that was
why. I
a
hate
good
Mitt
thing.
Romney,
But there's
yeah.
plenty of people, when you look back in history, that have run. Kathy Hochul lost re-election for Congress and got a shoe-in position for lieutenant governor and got lucky with that crackadoodle and then became governor.
Crackadoodle took her because he didn't think she'd backstab him.
But
and
there's
she
plenty of
backstabbed.
people that have run for office and lost. You're not the only person that has run for office and lost. So
Say goodbye.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in this week. Also, Black Beauty says some of them don't even show up to vote. Thank you, Black Beauty, for the last minute comment.
Thank you, my
We'll see you
Instagram
next
fans.
week.
Thank you, YouTube
Have a great
fans.
show. Have a great night. Be safe out there on the roads.
Wednesday night, we're all in sight. 9 o'clock, it's shining bright. Turn the dial and feel the might. Just enough Heshy takes flight.